my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, there is no pause on the bad, David. I'll give you that. So, this one is a Patreon pick. It's our good friend Maff, Dave, and he's picked a 1991 David Cronenberg movie starring Peter Weller, Roy Schneider, Judy Davis, Ian Holm, and this one is called Naked Lunch. And can I just put a disclaimer in, Dave, before we get into this? If you put Naked Lunch in on Google and it says, do you want to take the filter off? Just remember, it's not going to bring this movie up, Dave, because I've just done that on my 32-inch fucking gaming monitor. So my windows are open, the curtains are open, and I look like a complete dick. But there you go, Dave. Anyway, carry on. Have you seen this before?
No, I'd never heard of this before. And, you know, when we watched the trailer, I thought, this looks fantastic. It doesn't look like a 1991 movie. Of course, we just last week, we did Hudson Hawk, another 1991 movie. I would say that looked like it was made in 1991, but I think there was something with the retro style of this whole movie. I think it looked more up to date. I know Peter Weller, of course, like most people, more from RoboCop, getting his bloody hand blown off and stuff. So, yeah, nothing like this. I think had I seen the trailer or seen, I don't know, anything from 1 minute to 5 minutes of this, I would have turned it off. So how about yourself, Chris?
Not a fucking clue, Dave. Not a clue. I saw the trailer and I was like, and to be honest, you mentioned RoboCop, Dave. Peter Weller turned this one down. He turned down RoboCop 3 to do this movie, Dave. I mean, some will say that is a travesty, an absolute travesty. But no, I've never even heard of this. I had no idea what it was. And watching that trailer last week, I was like, oh, Matt's absolutely done us here. He's completely had us over. It is the year of the Stichup, and I'm thinking, this is going to be an absolute joke. Now, however, I did think after last week's revelation that Tony had obviously picked the worst film I'd ever seen, Dave. He now has the title, Mr. A.R. Farina. So I'm not sure whether Maff can steal it back, but I'll tell you what, Dave, really behind the curtain, he's not fucking far off with this fucking turkey.
It might be a photo finish. I tell you what, I do think it might be a little bit of a masterstroke here, because when, like, say, John suggests to do fucking blood muscle bodybuilder in hell, like, I know what that's going to be. I know it's going to be a stitch up. For this one, I'm thinking, oh, this looks interesting. This looks tremendously well made. And, you know, David Cronenberg used to love watching The Fly, or kind of hate it, I guess. You know, it grossed me out, but, you know, I still watched it lots of times. So I thought, this could be quite good, this. And what I think about that statement, having now watched it, I will get into in the review, Chris. So, should we get into our trailer?
Oh, can't wait. Let's go.
William Lee, I am your case officer. You are my agent. I, in turn, report to your controller. Your wife is not really your wife. She is an agent of Interzone Incorporated. You must kill her. Where were you this morning?
I got in a bit of a jam. They're saying that you escaped from custody and murdered your wife, and they want you.
You're just gonna have to leave town. And Interzone is the only place that will have a shady character like you at such short notice.
I would never have expected to see you up and out so early. You seem to be in a lot of pain.
It is an elegant way to strike terror into the hearts of the enemy. I think the New Order could find a place for a man of your caliber.
We like confidence in an agent, but don't let it make you careless. Why don't you just write something and calm yourself down? You're obviously not in a professional state of mind.
In 1953, exterminator William Lee finds that his wife Joan is stealing his insecticide to use as a recreational drug. Lee is arrested by police and he begins hallucinating due to exposure to the insecticide. Lee believes he is a secret agent and his boss, a giant talking beetle, tasks him with killing Joan, who is an agent of Interzone Incorporated. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
It is fucking rubbish, this movie. It is, I mean, it's at 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. Absolutely. I don't know why. The fucking beetle, when it comes on the screen, Dave, he does his little bit of, exterminating, shall we say. And I'm not doing a Doctor Who thing because John Hammond wasn't happy with my comments about Doctor Who, Dave. It's still wank. But when the big fucking insect, his boss, comes on, and then it looks like a fucking arsehole, Dave, that's had a curry. Let's be honest, Dave. It's fucking twitching like mad. And he's fucking literally giving it some sort of weird fucking, I don't know, fucking hand job, arse job. I don't know what's going on, but the beetle's enjoying that a lot more than it fucking should. And every time it speaks, it's fucking arseless. He twitches. I was like, what in God's fucking name is this thing? It is fucking atrocious, this movie. It really is a shocker.
Well, Chris, I just don't know. You obviously haven't seen what all the people see who rate this so highly. And I've got to say, I don't think I did either. So, I had to watch this twice because I was like, I ain't got a fucking clue what's going on here. So it is so unbelievably confusing. And the thing is, this was based on a novel. And I believe the novel was even more confusing and wasn't really a linear story. And, it was written by this guy, William Burroughs. And it seemed like, the novel came out in 1959. So from what I understand reading about this bloke, he basically, funnily enough, shot his wife playing a bit of William Tell, apparently, but he only spent about 13 days in prison in Mexico or something. It seems like, a stand-up bloke, of course. But it seemed to be that he was struggling with his feelings of homosexuality. And he's put a lot of graphic detail in this writer. And obviously, I think that a lot of the story is him wrestling with the fact that, does he take his job or does he, become a writer for a living? A lot of it's about writing. I'm sure there's a lot of subtext. But Chris, this just oozes of pretentiousness to me. And it feels like, I feel like I'm like the guy with the pointing out that the king's got no clothes on. It's like, he's got no fucking clothes on there. It's like, oh, no, don't you understand? It's the subtext. It's what it's saying beyond what it's just saying. I'm like, oh, fuck off. I fucking want a film to be entertaining. First and foremost, I want it to, mean something. I want it to have a bit of a story. I'd like it to have characters that I at least moderately care about. And I think this has none of that. I think the way it's shot is amazing. I think the gruesome graphic practical effects are great. But fucking hell, this was a slog and a half.
It's a shocker. It's an absolute shocker. It's just under 2 hours. I think for me, what gets me is the dialogue and the cadence of the voices. At times, I had to keep turning the fucking telly up, and I've got nothing wrong with my hearing. I'm like, what the hell are they saying? I had to put the subtitles on. Yeah, even me with the subtitles who doesn't like them, I even had to put them on at points because it was really strange. I couldn't understand what the point was of all this. And I get, like you say, that he's struggling with his sexuality because he walks in, his wife's being slit one, there's a guy filming it, just sort of walks off, doesn't he? And obviously the William Tell thing. But I was like, I don't understand why we're trying to be too clever. They're telling a story on his like life's journey. Fair enough. But the Beatles, the Beatle typewriter. I'm like, what is the point of this? So first of all, it's some sort of alien fucking film, off the trailer. I'm thinking, right, it's an alien film. They've come down, they live in harmony with us. It's just normal that a fucking typewriter or a Beatles there talking to him. And it's not. And it's just absolutely garbage. And the fact that obviously he does a runner after this sort of thing when he kills and that, but it's just like, I don't get who won him. As you said, who am I supposed to be cheering for? All right, Peter Weller, fair enough. Yeah, RoboCop. I don't think he's a great character. I really don't. I don't get what the reviews are. And I think like the stupid Beatle thing through the movie just takes me out. I'm just like, I don't get it. I mean, honestly, Dave, you're going to have to explain a lot more because I've read stuff about this movie and you are very brave watching it twice because there is not a cat in hell's chance I've ever watched this twice. Even if I stumbled across it to point stuff out to someone, I would not watch this movie. It's an absolute pile of fucking rubbish. However, Dave, I will say that it is short of 2 hours, and that's the positive. That's all I can say at the moment.
A little bit over the 90-minute sweet spot, but I tell you what, it fucking felt longer than 2 hours. But I don't know. I mean, if someone else watches it, enjoys it, great. More power to you. And if they say, Chris and Dave, you just don't get it. You're just not clever enough to appreciate the symbolism and all of that crap. It's just fair enough. I am fine. But that's why it feels so pretentious to me. It just like... You're really rating this really high. And like I say, the cinematography is fantastic, to be fair. But, you can't just have a beautiful looking frame and have nothing, all this cryptic nonsense. And even when you have these bugs turning up and whatever, and these giant fucking, what are they called, gumwomps or whatever?
Yeah.
The big alien looking things. He's never surprised. He's never like, oh, fuck, mate, there's a fucking massive alien-looking creature here. He just sort of takes it all in his stride as if it's nothing. And, it's typewriter initially, the one, with the fucking talking arsehole. He sort of, yeah. And just, can you sprinkle some dust on my arsehole, please? Oh, yeah, fine. I'll just give it a little tickle there as well while I'm at it.
It's just like, and then the Beatles going, oh, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? I mean, I said about Naked Lunch. It didn't bring up any of them when I looked on Google, Dave, when the filler came off. I'm telling you. I think that's what it is. And I don't think Peter Weller's a good actor, if I'm honest. If Roy Schneider's in it, he's pretty poor and he's playing a bit like this character he meets. I can't take to him just overall. I don't think he carries the movie. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm not getting the point of it. And maybe Maff has just absolutely done us, Dave, completely. And he's going to it is perfect year of this Stichup because I think as you're going through the movie, like I say, it's ponderous, it's slow. There's a lot of characters and there's a lot of like character building, and I don't think it does a terrible job of that. But just overall, as a message, like I just don't understand what they're trying to go for. And I think when you have a movie like this that's been too fucking clever, I am just out, Dave. Give me martial arts, no storyline, fucking some guy levering about 20 people in a space of about fucking 20 seconds. I am fucking set. This sort of nonsense, I just cannot be bothered to follow what's going on and what value. And it's purely a load of fucking hippies with a spliff going on about, oh, what a movie that is. Oh, yeah, I got that. Like we're in the 60s or something. It's some fucking proper hippie. Yeah, man, that's great. It's like, no, mate, it's fucking rubbish. It's absolutely, unless they were taking the pesticides to understand the movie, Dave, and then everything comes to life. I don't know, but it's purely a wanky fucking movie where a load of film students just talk about how it's one of the greatest movies ever made. And everyone has taste, let's be honest. I love Lauren Avedon, Dave. Not many people do. But I will say, and it is subjective, everyone has taste in movies, but this is not a good movie and I don't understand it at all. Not that I don't understand it, I just don't understand the praise it's getting because we've watched some really bad movies that are better than this, and that's saying a lot.
And I did look around at like sort of other people's opinions because I'm just like, I'm trying to get this. And, people will deconstruct it and say, it's very good because the thing that's happening on the screen, it really means this other thing. And Burroughs, I think he lived in Morocco where it was a bit, from what I could tell, it was a little bit lawless, or not Morocco centrally, but there was this part which was kind of governed by, it was almost like a neutral zone is how I understood it. And it sounded like anything goes, basically. So I think he would have been able to explore a lot of the feelings that he had when he was in this area. And like I say, probably at the time, he couldn't just write, like a love story, like he possibly wanted to, because he was harboring all of these feelings, which were, fucking Alan Turing got sterilized, didn't he? In the 50s, fucking war hero. But, because he was gay, he got fucking sterilized. So, yeah, I guess I'm theorizing a bit, but, to make it so abstract and surreal is his way of writing a story where it's maybe, he can sort of get away with it. It's that abstract. But, I think watching the film, it's fairly obvious. And the surrealism of it, I don't know, I'm trying to think of another thing that we've watched that's surreal, but I just don't get on with it. I want things that are real. And my mind goes back a little bit to Matrix. I don't know if you remember, like, the first time you watched it, and you're not really sure what's going on. For the first part of the movie, like, what the fuck's going on here? Follow the White Rabbit, what's he talking about? And then, his kind of mouth gets all, closed up. What the fuck's going on here? And then you have a payoff, though. You get, like, the curtain lifts, and you're like, oh, shit. There's this whole world, and now I get it. It sort of makes sense. But with this, there was none of that. There was like, I didn't care about Peter Weller. His character was shit. Like I say, as soon as I read that the author actually shot his wife in the head playing William Tell, I'm like, well, you're a fucking piece of shit then, aren't you, really? And somehow, because of whatever, you've managed to get away with it. But then not only that, that happened in real life, but he commits it to his novel. And again, it's all part of this, what do they call them, the beat generation or something, all these post-war writers, fucking on drugs and whatever, not getting a real job. Just everything about this movie kind of, and the novel that it's written from, it just repulses me, Chris.
Well, that's very strong, that, Dave. So listen, Dave, we've been called out for segues, and there's a little, we go away from what we're talking about. But do you remember? Now, this is a bit of trivia you didn't know, Dave. Do you remember your Steve McDonald bit of trivia from Coronation Street?
I don't remember. I remember talking about him because the guy from Run Lola Run looked like Steve McDonald, and he used to do my head in. Did I come out with actual trivia, though? I thought I just made the point that Steve McDonald used to piss me off.
There's something that a lot of people don't talk about with Steve McDonald, because he's still in Coronation Street, Dave, and this is a tangent and a half, Peter Weller turned down RoboCop 3. However, whatever happened to Andy McDonald, the twin brother, Dave? Because I'm saying that he stepped in and was RoboCop in RoboCop 3. Andy McDonald, the twin, we never thought we'd talk about on this show, Dave. Steve's the main one. Andy,
really?
I believe, played RoboCop 3. Yes.
Fucking hell. What a connection. It's like 7 degrees of VHS, isn't it? I completely forgot about his brother until you just said that. But really, he played RoboCop in RoboCop 3.
Did he? Fuck, Dave. I was just putting you off the scent so we don't have to talk about this movie. I can't believe you believe me on that. But anyway, but old Andy.
What did happen to Andy?
Well, he used to run a pub with Liz McDonald in real life, Dave, in Manchester City Centre. So I thought he was a terrible actor as well. I mean, I'm not saying Steve McDonald's a good actor, but he was a terrible actor, Andy. Really boring. The most unlikely twins you've ever seen. I mean, I know you don't always get identical twins, but there wasn't even a fucking chromosome that looked the same as each other, Dave. They were completely the opposite. But I think good old Liz has been dealing with someone else other than Big Jim, Dave. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. The Andy McDonald conundrum, that's going to get everyone thinking, you know.
No, I'm not sure that counts. That's not a tangent. That's an intended misdirection. Because we can't just keep saying it's just shit over and over. But just while I've been talking about that, I have verified. So Burroughs, after he shot his wife in this William Tell game, so the author of this thing, the novel that this came from, is spent 13 days in jail in Mexico City.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? 13 days. It's got to be a payoff. How are you supposed
to root for this fucking douchebag?
Exactly. There's got to be a payoff there, aren't there?
It says his brother bribed the lawyers and the officials.
Fucking hell. And I think you're right. I think that's probably what I'm struggling with the movie is I don't really find William Lee an endearing character. There's just something off, isn't there? I know like the other people around him are probably even worse. He's sort of the best of a bad bunch at certain points in this movie. But I also think like the way it's delivered when he gets with that, you know, the Swiss lad and the sharing a bed and it's, you know, it's all about his sexuality. I just think they just skate round it because it's like 1991. I get it. I understand why, but it's also like, but this is what this movie's supposed to be symbolized about that. And I think obviously his missus comes back, you know, a doppelganger, Dave, of his dead wife. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what you're doing. You're just throwing anything. I mean, I tell you what, here's a fucking tangent for you. You're not going to believe this. I've got a tangent. I've just seen it today on Twitter, right? So you're talking about his wife coming back, doppelganger. It's Neighbours' 40th anniversary, right? Harold Bishop's in it. Right. No. So unfortunately, the guy who plays Harold Bishop has got he's got terminal cancer. Actually, Ian Thingy's just come out and announced it. But do you remember his wife, Madge, Dave?
Yeah.
Madge, you know, Madge Ramsey, you know, Madge Bishop. Yeah. Well, they killed her off about 15 years ago. Now 20 years ago. She's been in and out of it as a bit of a ghost character. Well, no, Dave. They've brought her back as Agnes, and Harold turns around and goes, "Madge," and she's like, "I'm not Madge, I'm Agnes." And obviously she was in Emmerdale as well at one point. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is like this. I'd seen it on Twitter, this little, and everyone's going, "Oh my God, it's amazing, it's Agnes." But the thing is, Madge died when she was about 50. But for some reason, she's aged now. So she's in the, you know, she's probably late 70s, early 80s. But obviously she's playing Agnes, Dave. So whether there's like a Harold Bishop where he goes off into the sea and then he comes back years later and nobody discusses where he's been for 20 years. He had amnesia. I don't know. But yeah, this was just like use of the same actress, wasn't it? It just didn't really go with what they were saying. And I think that's where the dialogue and everything just lost it for me. It's like mumbling at times, and I'm like, it was too low. The cadence of Peter Weller's voice just kept dropping, and he was like, and I'm like, fucking hell, mate, this is like insomnia. You know, I can fall asleep at the drop of a hat anyway, getting up as early as I do, but Jesus Christ, he is going to make me go to sleep. I just didn't enjoy it. I think it's like repulses you. I just think overall, it's just not an enjoyable watch. And I forgot, for the love of God, Maff has got to be stitching us up, because if he turns around and say this movie, he's watched it a million times, it's a massive fan, and there's some proper story behind it, I'm going to have to apologise and say I just don't get it. But I cannot believe this is anything other than a stitch up. And I tell you what, Dave, at the moment we're getting close to Mr. Farina's pick from last week, Hudson Hawk, the way I'm feeling at the moment.
Well, I want to talk about the doppelganger wife, but we'll come back to that. Because I definitely think it's on the side of a stitch up. I think it might be a genius play, because, like I say, bloody muscle bodybuilder in hell. I mean, fucking hell, John's been playing stitch ups for fucking ages, hasn't he? With Devil Peters and fucking all sorts. But, you know, like with Spider Dan, with Necromantic 2 and stuff, you know, you can normally see the stitch ups coming. but I think this might be a bit of a genius play here. This is a low-key Stichup, this one. But what I was going to say about the wife, the doppelganger of the wife, when they get into having a little bit of sexy time, but then it suddenly turns into this weird fucking, like, massive cockroach thing with skin on it, but like a human arse. Do you remember the bit that I mean? Where it's like, it's sort of shaking over them and stuff, and it's like, but then it cuts to, them in reality, and then I'm not sure if this is like all just in his head or something, but I must admit, at that moment, I'm like, what is this fucking shit?
Well, the thing is, you've hit the nail on the head. Reading like the synopsis on the movie and the plots and all the other things, it's supposed to be he's in some sort of drug-induced thing because of like catching his wife doing the pesticides and all that, and this is all part of that like hallucination. I believe. I don't think it plays out like that in the movie. It just looks like we're in some alien world where like these beetles and different like insects are just living alongside human beings. Even when he gets the slipper out to it at the start, I was like, and he's chatting to the boss. He's like, yeah, I'm your boss and all this. I'm like, oh, all right, fair enough. He's going to be an alien. There's going to be like aliens everywhere. Like sort of like Men in Black, things like that, where they all live together and things like that. This is bizarre. So the budget was 16 to 18 million, but they only made 2.6. And that is probably 2 million more than it should have made, Dave. Let's be honest. In Canada, it was the second highest scoping movie. At the box office, it made 600,000, Dave, in 1992. I mean, did Canadians not go to the movies or anything, Dave? Like, what's going on? My sister lives in Vancouver. My brother-in-law, it's like they go and watch films. Was nobody watching films in Canada in 1992? That is bizarre compared to the American.
He's a bit of a legend, isn't he, old Cronenberg? Canadian legend. They're always going to watch his stuff.
Yeah, but they only made 600,000 at their box office, Dave. What? That's not.
It doesn't mean they like watching shit movies.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I've got nothing. I agree with that.
I always think back to The Fanatic, when we talk about terrible box office returns, and obviously, he's a bit unlucky, old John Travolta, when he and Fred Durst there, but obviously we did that as part of our late fees, but that came out in lockdown, so it's probably that played into the box office as well. But I think I'd watched The Fanatic before this.
Yeah, well, at least John Travolta's fucking Irish Jig's a lot better than the fucking what we're seeing here, Dave. Let's be honest. It is a shocker, this. I think, though, I can understand why people like it and feel like it's David Cronenberg and all that, but it just feels exactly, you just hit the nail on the head at the start. It's just a pretentious load of wank to me. Like that bit when the fucking arsehole thing's just getting fucking greased up at the start is just fucking weird. I'm sorry. It is fucking weird. I was like, is this some sort of fucking porn movie or some softcore thing? Are we getting done over here or something? Like proper having us over. At least with fucking Kitty and fucking the Stallion, whatever he's called. What they call? Fucking, Stallone's bollocks. That's it. Kitty and Studs. Spider Dan. We'll never forget that, my friend. But I almost did. But that, you get what we understand the concept why Stallone was in it, the idea of picking it. Yeah, it's a bit of a stitch up. You see his naked bollocks, but it's more about like where he was in life and how he tried to fob it off. Then eventually sort of embraced it. It was like, well, I wouldn't have got to the table as one of the biggest action movie heroes in the 80s, between him and Arnie. They were the two, weren't they? So I sort of understand why that was picked, as much as it's a bit of a, let's not talk about it. But this is unbelievable. I would have rather him done RoboCop 3 than this, Dave. I'll be honest with you. I just would. He's only ever going to be RoboCop for me. Always. He's always going to be Murphy for me. That's it. No one else.
Yeah. I mean, I saw another thing where, again, people were heaping praise on the novel and saying, he predicted all these things, predicted like the AIDS epidemic and stuff like that. But again, I'm like, I'm not having it. Just scattergun, surreal bollocks. But Julian Sands, Chris, obviously he's been in a few things. He popped up. He was in like arachnophobia, boxing Helena. I think, again, I can see why the things that are good in this. I think some of the acting is good. I like the whole noir feel to it. The like little creatures and the mugwumps or whatever they're called. You know, everything looks great. It doesn't look like a 1991 movie to me. It looks like it all really stands up. But when you have, I mean, it's kind of the main character. So Peter Weller's got this bit on the side, you know, he's got his boy who looks like about fucking half his age or something. And then you've got Julian Sands' character who he's in this weird cage where they're almost morphing together.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is fucking, I think that's when I was like, is this going full on horror now? What the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
What did that symbolize or anything? Is that to do with his sexuality or something? I just couldn't understand that at all. Was that like trying to keep sexuality buried or something, Dave? Is that what it was? Because it really went bizarre.
Something along those lines. I mean, I think real world, it might have been, you know, these two blokes were just having sex or something, and then he's walked in, and then in his warped mind, he's got this whole surreal imagery with him. But I mean, that was, again, he didn't really react the way I would expect him to react, you know, in utter horror. But he sort of thinks he's been held captive at that point, and then, yeah, like you say, Schneider fucking pops up, but actually, he's in that woman's suit. He just fucking strips out of, and it's like, yeah, I'm out. I'm fucking no idea where this is going, but I'm not sure I care either.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Because that was, I mean, obviously, look, it's early 90s, but the effects weren't that bad, were they, at that point? Even that, like, what they did with the guy and his face and everything, I can go with it. It's 1991, but I'm with you. The lack of caring and the lack of, like, delivery of whatever the fucking story is, I'm just like, it hurt my head in the end, Dave. I'll be honest with you. I had to watch this in about 3 stages. I'm applauding you because there's no way I would rewatch this. I mean, I know last week, Hudson Hawk, I had to go again for the last hour just to understand it. But I can live with that despite how terrible it was. But with this, there was not a chance that I was even going to touch this again. But I do think, like you say, some of the cinematography is good. I think the setting of like the 50s works. I think obviously I like the outfits and that, but just overall, it's just an absolute turkey, this one. It really is. It's just the Beatle thing. I can't get my head around the Beatle thing. I don't know why that was in there. It's just weird.
I think the Beatle thing was not as bad as there was another typewriter that sort of opened up, and it looked like someone's organs or something inside.
Yeah.
And she's putting her fingers in there as if it's all really sensual and stuff. And I'm like, ugh.
It's not really Ghost, is it, Dave? Where they're doing a bit of pottery. I mean, this came out around about the same time, but
yeah.
It was. I mean, he was sat behind it. It's not sexy at all. It really is.
Well, I mean, I think we've been done, to be honest. But just a reminder, if anyone hadn't heard last week, and I can imagine quite a few people coming for us after this one, Chris. People stumbling across this review, fucking love this movie, and they're like, you pair of fucking heathens, but I don't care.
There's no way.
Just a reminder for last week, you said Hudson Hawk was the worst movie that you had ever seen. I just want to put a pin in that because I want to know the answer to the question. But should we get into our final review?
Let's go.
Well, Chris, we're going to do the same again because last week we heard from Tony, who gave his thoughts and delighted in the fact that he loved the movie, but, you know, he's pretty sure we were going to hate it, and he was right. Well, I got a voicemail through from Maff. I haven't had time to listen to it, so I have no idea what he's going to say, but here we go. This is the man himself.
With films like Scanners, Videodrome and The Fly among many of his work, it's no surprise that David Cronenberg's Naked Lunch is a strange yet unconventional film. Yet some would argue it's a truly remarkable story, one that blurs lines of fiction and reality, and it's earned its place as a cult classic. However, admittedly, I'd forgotten how much the film was, and I decided to rewatch it before writing this, and I'm sure there is a lot more deeper meaning and themes to this that smarter minds of the mind could probably discuss and dissect it. But let's be honest, it's a weird film, and the reason I chose Naked Lunch is because I knew Chris would think it's shit on toast. Dave might be able to find parts that are enjoyable, but this is the year of the Stichup, and Chris, my friend, you were the first one to fall victim from my picks. However, there's the rest of the year to go, and I'm sure I'll get another pick at some point. So, Dave, we might be choosing a special film for you. Cheers anyway, guys, for giving us a laugh each Monday morning.
I was hoping I sort of got away with that, but honestly, fucking that Railway Children, I hate that more than Jar Jar Binks, and that says quite a lot.
God.
But there we go. Confirmation, Chris. It was definitely a stitch-up, intended stitch-up at that.
Yeah, Maff did his job, because as he was there, I'm thinking, there's a turn coming here. There's a turn. There's got to be a turn. If he'd have said this was like some relative's greatest movie ever, and he remembers him, you know, that we used to watch together, I'd have to get my coat and just leave at this point, Dave. I applaud you, because that was a good one. A good one. It is fucking terrible, and Shit on Toast doesn't even come close to this turkey. So yes, he's done his job there, Dave. The worrying thing is, though, Dave, as this carries on, they're getting fucking worse by the week. Like the year of the Stitch-Up. Why did you come up with that tagline? Give us something. I started off with 60 seconds. Fuck.
He's gone for you, but I feel like collateral damage in this thing as well, because I had to watch it. And because I didn't understand it, I watched it fucking twice.
Yeah. Well, that's your fault, Dave. So I think actually Maff did his job more on you than he did on me. But thank you for that, Maff. I love that. I love it. It's so good. So anyway, Dave, in the year of the Stitch-Up, next week is another Patreon pick. And in fact, we haven't even done our scores, have we?
Review.
Yeah, I just don't want to. Right, so anyway, as your name says, Dave, I'm a talking arsehole on the screen. You're actually called Talking Arsehole. I'm called Robo Lobon today, Dave. That's me in our Streamlad names. We'll never tell you what we put on some of the other movies, but they're the more PC ones. So for me, this is a terrible movie. It's absolutely a shocker. And Tony Farina, you held the title. I don't throw it away very easily, this. But Dave, Maff has now taken the title a week later, because this is worse than Hudson Hawk could even dream of. I don't know what's happened to me. I never give this out so quickly, but this is now the worst movie I've ever seen. I have never wasted so much time in my life watching a movie than trying to scour Channel 5 movies as a 14, 15-year-old lad to try to find bits of cleavage, Dave. And I've wasted my time any way possible when I may have been alone, pulling my shoulder out, trying to get something that may help me along the way. And this gives me nothing. This is a terrible movie. Going to Alderaan. Maff, I applaud you. Mr. Farina, you held it for 1 week. This is even worse. Oh my fucking God, this is terrible. Again, we're doing the Lord's work, Dave. Don't watch it. Don't ever even suggest it again. I don't even want to talk about it, Dave. I'd rather have Bad Boy Bubby dressed in fucking latex as a gimp doing whatever he does as well, Dave, with his mother. But there you go. Your pick. What are you saying, Dave?
Well, I think, Maff might be thinking that I might come down more analytically and a bit more forgiving. And I have to say, you hadn't said that this is the worst movie you've ever seen for a long time. And last week was the first time in a while. So I have to say, though, fucking hated this movie. And even Matt saying there, or maybe other people who are smarter than me, might be able to read into it more. And I think that's it just irritates me, the pretentiousness of it. They're kind of, keeping the gates up. I just, oh no, if you don't think this is a good movie, you clearly didn't get it. Oh, fuck off. Not interested at all. Despite the fact usually if I really enjoyed it, I'll watch it 2 or 3 times before we record. But like I say, it was just purely because I had no idea what was going on and thought, oh, fucking hell, I'm going to have to watch this all again and really concentrate hard on trying to see what's happening beyond what's just right in front of you. But yeah, I will say I think it looked great. I thought the acting performances were good. The special effects were really good. Classic sort of David Cronenberg stuff. But yeah, I always think it's a bit of a sliding scale. So if you've got all the budget, if you've got all the enablement to make a great movie, make a fucking, at least have a good go at it. But for me, this is all just pretentious bullshit. I fucking hated it. I cannot seriously think of another film that I would least sooner watch. At least sooner watch than this. So, which by default, it makes it the worst movie I've ever seen. Because I will watch fucking King of the Kickboxers 2. I'll watch... I would watch Samurai Cop any day anyway. But all of the shit movies that we've done, I would watch all of them before this again. So yeah, Maff has played a fucking blinder there in throwing something out a little bit different, a less obvious Stichup, but a Stichup all the same.
Well, you know what, Dave? I'm going to be honest here. I'm happy with what Maff's done because it's a bit of a layup to try and get me because people know when I don't like movies and you're a lot more measured. So I think Maff will take this as the ultimate Stichup because he's done both of us at the same time. You usually see good in things and I just go for the jugular and we've both gone for it. So with me, he's probably not expecting anything less, but with you doing that, I think Maff may have actually just gone top of the pile, Dave, because for us both to go in so hard and especially you saying you would never watch this.
Will you stop with the fucking euphemisms talking about going in so hard and doing us both at the same time? Fucking hell, man.
I didn't realise I was doing it, Dave. Funny enough, I am touching myself when I say that. Yeah. But anyway, right, carry on.
you got your fucking glasses case out again.
Say that again, Dave. Right, anyway. Yeah. So, Dave, moving swiftly on from this shocking revelation, it is another Patreon pick. Now, this one, Dave, next week, is by the man with the greatest mullet that I've ever seen in real life, Dave. I never thought they existed until about 3 or 4 years ago. I met the wonderful Mr. Blake Piles, Dave, in Charlton Village, in the Horse and Jockey, one of your old stomping grounds that you remember well when you were in Manchester. Yeah. I met his wonderful family, and honestly, that mullet is to die for. However, Dave, I've got a feeling that the year of the Stichup is going to carry on. Now, I can't just keep throwing out the award for the worst movie ever, but he's got some way to go. So I don't know what we're doing. I don't even know if you know what we're doing, but what have we got next week from our good friend Blake?
Yeah, so there had been a bit of chatter because, I saw there was some dialogue, on the Patreon board that, it's hard to stitch up Dave because Dave, does the scheduling, everyone knows. And so, Dave always knows what's coming. And, well, some people work really hard to make sure that doesn't happen. So I've just literally been sent. So Blake knew when we were recording, so he'd set himself a reminder. He's put together a video, Chris, literally as we've been recording, so not had a chance to vet it or anything, similar to Maff's voicemail there. So I'm going to share this with you. So it's about 6 minutes. Let's see what Blake sent. Now, Chris, what we're going to review this week?
Well, Dave, our good friend Blake and Patreon, the man with the greatest mullet you've ever seen, has picked a movie, Dave.
It's a fucking Z movie. Serve Nazis Must Die.
This was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I'd probably sooner watch Necromancy before this. It's fucking horrendous.
Blake has got great hair, so great guy, Blake. But he has picked a movie, Dave. Bad taste. And if there was ever a name to fit a movie, Dave, this was fucking it.
Tell you what, he's put some work in here, hasn't he, with the editing?
No, a terrible movie, this. I think, nothing hits for me at all.
Bad boy Bubby. Blake, marvellous mullet, amazing beard, fucking shit-tasting movies.
Honestly, this movie's fucking terrible. I was like, oh my God. And I had to watch it in about 3 stages. That's how bad it was.
To be honest, when Blake first said Beowulf, utterly terrible movie.
Blake's, I'm already going to say it. He's already done us, Dave. But anyway.
It's revenge for Cloud Atlas still.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Blake,
oh, no.
The Castle. And I like Blake. He's a great guy. This movie's fucking shit. It is absolutely awful.
Honestly, I'm with you. I think this is terrible. I don't think anything is funny about this at all.
Great friend, Patreon, supporter of the podcast. An all-round nice guy with the greatest mullet I've actually seen in person.
This one
again,
is
the mullet
Fatal
Dave.
Instinct. I just couldn't wait for it to end, if I'm being honest. It's like 90 minutes of fucking hell. I'll be honest with you. It really was a fucking terrible watch.
No, this is fucking shit. This is awful. This is just wank. And I rarely go in on a movie like this, but this is offensive.
Which is the real awesome?
I never want to see this ever again.
Can't believe it. Like, you've got it. It's very rare that you go in more than me. That is unbelievable.
This is the worst movie I've ever seen.
I'll never watch this again. It is fucking dire film.
It is fucking awful. So Blake, I know you're listening. You have done us both here, my friend. You've gone more in on it than I have. I'm really shocked by that, Dave.
I love it. Nothing redeeming. Nothing redeeming about this at all. I pinged Blake. I'm like, do you actually like this? I couldn't help it. I was genuinely perplexed. I'm like, is this just a pure Stichup? Oh no. It's revenge for Cloud Atlas still.
Is this just a pure Stichup?
I just love everything Muppets, Chris. I fucking love the Muppet stuff.
Fishy little fellow with a shiny sort of skin and a hole in the shallows where the tide is happy.
So, you want to join the Feebles?
Oh, right.
Oh, I know what it is.
What the fuck is this?
Meet the Feebles! Meet the Feebles!
Meet the Feebles. The movie that began as family entertainment, but went horribly wrong.
Have you got any smack? Smack?
The film the authorities tried to stop.
Oh, what beautiful white fur. God, my dear.
Oh my God.
The story that rocked the puppet world. This is a family show, for Christ's sake. Sex.
I'm hot, Bletch, but not the way you think.
Drugs. Animal husbandry.
Why did you bring it here? It's not mine. You know it's
Holy
not.
We'll let the court decide that, shall we? Garden of love.
Meet the Feebles turns the cabbage patch into the killing fields.
Funny little sandhopper
It's
back
fun.
in the sun. Dancing out, hopping, has lots of fun. A bit of sand landing in that hollow eye. A bit of sand sitting by
It's contagious.
It's the big one, Harry.
No, it can't be. I've taken precautions.
Corruption. Barry, do me a line. Lust.
Feeling shy.
They say this is the movie, Dave, so don't have to watch it.
Light romance. From the director of Bad Taste.
Did you realize you were sitting on his face?
No, I felt a bit uncomfortable, but I thought it was my hemorrhoid.
Please, God, I know I've been a bad bunny, but if you make me well again...
is sacred.
Meet the Feebles! Meet the Feebles!
ever noticed the
Peter
beautiful
Jackson.
lighting in
Yeah.
this toilet?
Well, there you go,
Holy
Chris. So meet the Feebles.
Oh my god!
Have you
I
ever
don't even
seen
know what
that?
to say. Never even heard of it. Oh my god!
Well, I'll keep it for next week. But I do remember scanning the channels late at night back in the early 90s, I think, and coming across this, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So hats off to Blake, by the way. What an effort there to go through, pull out all of those clips. Did get a bit sinister at the end, where I feel like probably more than most he's enjoying this particular Stichup. But yeah, hats off to you, sir, and your, as Chris loves to reminisce about, your fantastic mullet.
Yeah, and saying that this is the worst movie I've ever seen as well, David. And literally everything he's put in the video, I swear on my life, I did not know that was. We've not even listened to it together. You said, didn't you? We're not listening to it. And I swear to you, I've never heard it. And everything he said, I just said before we went into it, is just bizarre. It's fucking bizarre. But that movie's left me absolutely dumb. I don't know. I am dumb anyway, but I'm just fucking absolutely, I'm shell shocked here, Dave. That is just done me completely. And the thing is as well, if I get fucking aroused by that, I'm in serious trouble.
Well, the good thing is, Chris, it's only March in our year of the Stitch Up.
Podcast gone to shit on it, Dave.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, but fucking hell,
I'm blaming you.
Second wind.
This is you. This is your fault. You with the Stitch Up, fucking my bollocks.
I still think
anyway.
my Stitch Up was gore on New Year's Day. It was a reaction to Santa with muscles. So it's actually, I think, it's more down to you. But unbelievable effort there.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So before I go and lie down, consider my options. If you want to email us, the vhsstrikesback@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media at VHS Strikes Back. If you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. And by supporting us, you get to pick movies like Meet the Feebles, Dave, or Naked Lunch, like some of our amazing friends. And I am going to do the roll call of honour, but I don't even know where to start. I'm just dreading watching next week's pick. So I'm having nightmares about what he did with the little bit at the end where you went, I love the Muppets, me. And he's like, you Muppets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, where's this going? I think that is genius. We'll have to put that on the channel if Blake will let us, because that is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Very good. So anyway, a big thank you to Gareth, Mike, Lee, Helen, Dylan, Dan, Justin, Susan, Timothy, Matt, Hales, Kent, Lucky Lulu Green, Herb, Jack, Maff, Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So thank you so much. I do apologise, Tony, but Maff done yet, and I've got a feeling that next week, oh my God, I might be saying this a lot, Dave. You've absolutely done us here this year. The Stitch Up. It's going to become a tagline every week. Is this the worst film you've ever seen, Chris? Yeah. Fucking right it is. Unbelievable.
And you know the thing is about all those clips Blake put together as well. I generally think I'm fairly measured, but I've done it enough times over the years where I have gone after something, and it just happens to coincide with another Alderaan that I sent to there. Actually, I don't think I even said Alderaan, did I? I just said it was the worst fucking film I'd ever seen. But yeah, Naked Lunch, definitely an Alderaan for me.
Unbelievable. So, Dave, what music have you got? Please cheer us up. I need something.
I don't know. I feel a bit queasy now. But okay, so for this, like I say, so surreal, mind-bending, what's real, what's not real. I thought, well, in terms of music, this has got to be a bit of psychedelia, a bit of shoegazing and stuff as well. So I've gone for that kind of feel. And I do like, I can't remember if I told you, Chris, but, one of my top 3 bands ever is The Verve. And I always love a bit of The Verve. And not just obviously, Urban Hymns was huge in about 98, wasn't it? But I had a couple of albums before that. I do have kind of had a connection to the guitar player there. My uncle was best mates with his brother. But anyway, enough frivolity. Let's kick off with this one.
I get the birthday, but it sounded more like Sergeant Pepper to me, other than the solo in the middle.
I think the vocals definitely more of a 60s feel to the vocals, but Yeah, I think it was more the bass and the guitar, all the delay on that guitar, and I must admit, it was a time when I was sort of searching for that sound again. When I'm thinking, probably it was in the 2000s, but sat freezing my balls off in a cold fucking Manchester mill or something, trying to come up with riffs and stuff. But yeah, no, so it's good fun. But like I said, I'm not really massively happy with the vocals, but I think my mind just switches off from the vocals and it's more focused on the music with this one. But I thought with the psychedelia, that was what I was going for. That was an easier choice with Naked Lunch. I've got a fucking clue where to start with Meet the Feebles, so I'll have to watch it and then try and come up with something from that. But again, hats off to you, Maff. Fucking great Stichup, that is. More low-key, but absolutely hit it out of the park. Blake, unbelievable job on the editing as well. And again, you've got us back for Cloud Atlas for sure. But thank you very much, Chris. Thanks to all our listeners. I think thanks to our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
One ring to go. All right. Ding, ding. Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go.
Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Come on, ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool.
Yeah, maybe
you crazy.
I ain't breathing heavy.
He's a fool. He's stupid. I see you in 6 months.